Okay, good morning, everyone, and Hazak Baruch. Thank you for joining us on this beautiful Tuesday morning as we are studying together Perashat Devarim. Now, yesterday, my friends, we gave a class on the Perashah, and we spoke about how Shlomo HaMelech urges and encourages every one of us to be like him. What does it mean to be like him? Shlomo says, be like me. When I see someone doing something wrong, I rebuke, I chastise, I give criticism. Shlomo HaMelech in his book, he didn't say how everyone's tzaddik. He didn't say you're fine if this is how you think, if this is who you are. Shlomo HaMelech didn't lower. He didn't lower the bar. He didn't lower the bar to the people. The bar is here. He raised the people so that they can meet the bar. Okay, and that was yesterday's class. Very important topic about how important it is to help the people around us, to give feedback. But today, my friends, I must give the other side of the coin. Okay, the other side of the coin, and that is how we give criticism. Because I think not only equally, but more importantly than if we give criticism, is how we give criticism. And yesterday, I repeated myself many times in making sure to qualify what I was saying, how important it is to give criticism. But today, I would like to talk about how we give it, because we are often trying to give advice to the people around us, trying to reprimand the people around us, tell them where they need to be better, whether they're being very stubborn or lazy or not performing like they should be. Maybe it's in a relationship with a spouse. Maybe it's religiously. You should be doing better. Maybe it's in the food. The cooking is not so good lately. Maybe it's in how they're acting as whatever, We're constantly trying to give what we call tochacha. And Moshe Rabbeinu, in the beginning of our parasha, is very clear in giving tochacha. Ele hadevarim. We quoted yesterday Rabbeinu Bachya, who quotes Rashi. These are the words that Moshe speaks to the Jewish people, and the pasuk gives us the coordinates, the zip code of where they were. And we read the pasuk and we realize that the place doesn't exist. Bamidbar, ba'arava, mol suf, ben paran, ben tofel, velavan, v'hatzerot, v'dizahav. And so the pasuk doesn't exist. These locations, there's no such coordinates. First of all, these places don't exist, and number two, they don't overlap. There's no intersection like this. And Rashi comes and says, "Lefi shehen divrei tochachot," because Moshe now is coming to rebuke the people. He's listing all the places that they angered God. Says Rashi, these are not coordinates of where they are. These are coordinates of where they were once upon a time. And each place is a different historical area that they've been to, that they sinned. He's not telling them where they are. It's not telling us where the address is being given. The Gettysburg Address. We're here in... It's not telling us where they are. Moshe is telling them where they were over the last 40 years. All the places that they angered Hashem. And therefore, because it's words of criticism, Satam et Devarim, Moshe gives it over in a very subtle, secretive way, an illusion. You know what's illusion? He gives it over by hinting. Beremez mepenei kevodan shel Yisrael, because he is trying to preserve the honor of the people. And he goes on and he lists each and every place, how each place was a sin. The first place, Bamidbar, in the wilderness. They're not in the wilderness. He's saying, no. When you were in the wilderness, you said, right? Mi ten mutenu, if only we were to die over here, Moses, right? So that's Bamidbar. And then Ba'arava, you sinned when you were in the Arava by bowing down to the Baal Peor. And then Molsuf, when you were opposite Yamsuf, you sinned when you questioned God if he could get you out of this. You said, well, we should have just died in Egypt. And Paran, with the man, and Chatzerot, and the spies, and Korach, and the Zahav, the Egel, and each one is not another place that they are, but it's an illusion of where they have been. And Moshe is rebuking them. And my friends, over here is the biggest, most important rule to criticism. Whenever we're giving it to whoever, and sometimes it's criticism again on something religious, sometimes it's criticism on how somebody's doing something at work, or how they're acting, or their performance, or their behavior. Number one rule when rebuking anybody. Look at this word of Rashi, because it's a word that is, again, so subtle you may miss it. But Rashi says, Mipenei kevodan. Preserve their dignity. Preserve their dignity. There is nothing more important than when rebuking somebody to preserve the dignity. Because I'll tell you something. If our goal in rebuking this someone, if our goal is to help them, what is our goal? Our goal is not to put them down. It's to help them. Quite the contrary. When we rebuke somebody, it's because we believe in them. Because we know how amazing they are, how praiseworthy they are, that they are someone who is respectable. And they're doing something maybe now that's not up to par. If that's the case, then I have to make sure that when I'm rebuking them, I'm showing them the ultimate respect. Because this is what I think of you. I think highly of you. I respect somebody like you. I think you're someone amazing. But if I put someone down, then it shows that I don't respect them, that I don't love them, that I don't care about them. And the only ingredient that's required, that's necessary when giving advice to someone, before giving advice, ask yourself one question. Is this coming for their honor? Is this coming for their betterment? Am I doing this from a place of love? Or am I doing this to put them down? Am I doing this to make myself feel better? I saw an amazing line. My friends, remember this. Okay, remember this line. Very, very powerful. Every trade has its traits. Yes, if you want to be a athlete, you have to have good muscles. If you want to be a lawyer, you have to be very sharp and quick. Yeah. If you want to be a doctor, maybe you need good hands, good fingers. Okay, right? If you want to be a housewife, you have to know how to play cards, right? Every trade, you have to know how to do certain things. Okay. What is the trait that's needed to be a good teacher? To be a good educator? What is the midah that you need to have? What is the trait? What do you have to have? You have to have good what? You have to have good what? You have to have what? A good charisma? You have to be clear in how you talk. To be a good teacher, you need one thing, and it's a four-letter word, and that is love. Love, my friends, is the only thing that matters when I am now coming to try to address somebody. I love them, and I had many teachers, and I'm sure you had too. And you know which teachers were successful and weren't. Okay, they have the best teacher that knows how to teach and deliver. But if there's no love, it's irrelevant. Nothing that they ever said stuck. When someone loves us, we're ready to hear whatever they have to tell us. Number one most important thing, whenever trying to help someone, is love. Bepenei kevodam. Am I here to help them, or am I here to knock them down? Moshe Rabbeinu, out of love for them, he made sure. And sometimes we forget this lesson, especially when you're a rabbi, when you're an educator, when you're a parent, and you have people that are under you that you need to guide, and we feel like I have to put my fist down. There was once a fellow. He became the rabbi of a synagogue, and as you can imagine, young rabbi, he decides it's time for him to come in and assess and scan and start seeing what everybody's doing wrong and give it to them on the head. And so he comes in, and in the first week he sees they're violating Shabbat, the kosher is no good, they're talking Lashon Hara, they're talking in shul. And first week he gets up, Rabotai, there's no talking in shul, and I'm going to stop the Chazan every second if I have to, right? And basically, you could imagine that very quickly this rabbi created many enemies, right? And right away, he's just hitting them on the head with every little thing. Of course, you could imagine people didn't appreciate this. And after a few weeks, the president came to the rabbi. He said, listen, Rabbi, if you keep it up, you're going to have to find another job, okay? People don't want you, a little guy coming in and just giving it to them on the head all the time. So he went to his Rebbe. He said, Rebbe, I don't understand. Isn't this what I'm supposed to do? Isn't this the mitzvah, the tochacha, the Torah, to rebuke people, to show them where they're wrong, where they need improvement? And the Rebbe gave a very beautiful analogy. The Rebbe said to him, he said to the kid, to this young rabbi, he said, tell me, You ever went to a sauna? I said, yeah, I've been to a sauna. I'm a Jew. Of course I've been to a sauna. Okay? And tell me what happens in a sauna. So what happens in a sauna? Well, first you sit in the room. Then they start making it hot. They warm the room up, make it hot. They put water on the coals. They warm up the room. Okay, then what? Then when it starts getting hot and hot and hot, then you start going up and up and up, right? You move up to a higher seat, higher bench, till you're all the way on the ceiling, right? Gan Eden. Okay, and then what? He says, and then you have the guy over there start hitting you with the broom that's in the sauna. So the rabbi says, hitting you with the broom in the sauna? He's like, yeah, and what do you say when he hits you? When he hits you, more, more, more. So the rabbi starts laughing. He's like, I don't understand. If a guy came to you in the middle of the street and started hitting you with a broom, what would you say? Would you start yelling more, more, more? So why this guy in sauna, he's hitting you, you're saying more? So the student was stumped. He said, I don't know. Good question. I'll tell you. Because when you warm the room up and you help people elevate and grow and you show them how good and high they are, then you could hit them all day and they'll say more, more, more. But first, you got to warm them up. You got to fire them up. You got to show them how big they are, how tall they are, how high they are. So he turned to his student and he said, your mistake is you're coming in day one and you're trying to hit them. That's not how it works. If you want to hit someone, first you got to show them how big they are. First you got to fill the room up with fire, with energy, with warmth, with ruchniyut, with passion. First you gotta pump them up. You gotta first elevate. And then you could chastise, then you could rebuke. Moshe Rabbeinu knows this lesson very well. And take a look, my friends, at just a pasuk or two later. The pasuk tells us not only where they are, but when they are. When are they? When are they? Right? It says, Vahi ba'arba'im shana. It was the 40th year. The first day of the 11th month. Moshe starts to address the people and rebuke them. This rebuke that he's about to give them. 40th year, 11th month. Moshe Rabbeinu is going to die in a month and 7 days. Okay? On Zayin Adar, 7th day of the 12th month. We are here on the first day of the 11th month. And it says, look at this pasuk, Aharei hakoto et Sichon melech ha'emori. He only delivers this after he defeated Sihon. And again, you may read this and say, okay, very nice, he defeated Sihon, so what? Not so what. Moshe Rabbeinu, not so what. Moshe Rabbeinu defeated Sihon. He knew, in order for me to properly give musar, in order for me to properly rebuke the people, if you want people to know that what you're saying is coming from a place of love, you have to first remove the enemies. You have to first alleviate the problems. If you really care about them, you got to care about them spiritually, you got to care about them physically. I love you in every sense of the word, and I'm here to help you. Next time you ever rebuke somebody, ask yourself one question. Do you love this person? Do I love this person? If they ask me for a lift to the airport right now, would I give it to them? If they ask me for $5,000 loan, would I give it to them? If not, keep your mouth shut, because you don't care about that person. You don't care about that person. Only if we care. And Moshe Rabbeinu cares. Aharei hakoto. Only after defeating the enemy for them, I care about you guys. They knew it. They were able to sense it. Only then and then was he in a position to rebuke them. And how does he rebuke them? Be'nachat. He does it in a remez. He does it in a hinting way, discreetly. Be'penei kevodan shel Yisrael. For their honor. He does it for their honor, to preserve their honor, to preserve their dignity. He doesn't do it in public. He doesn't do it out loud. No one's listening. Doesn't do it on a chat. Doesn't do it in front of people on the Shabbat table. He gives them musar privately. If we love our children, when we yell at them, we take them into a room privately. We tell them what they're doing wrong. Never in front of people. No one should ever hear the musar that I'm giving my spouse, or the musar that I'm giving my employees, or the musar that I'm giving my children, or whoever it is. If I really care, it's one-on-one. I'm not looking to put you down. If it's to put you down, then the more that hear, the better. I want to do it loud so that everyone can listen and everyone can laugh. But that's not because of kivodan. That's not coming from love. Coming from love, I better keep my mouth shut. I better make sure it's done privately. I better make sure first I elevate the person. When I elevate the person, when I heat up the person's life, when I bring warmth, I have love. Then if I hit them more, then they'll want to hear it. But only if it's coming from a place of love. Rabbi uh, uh, Rav Mendel, very nice story. There's a famous book, Rav Mendel stories. Um, the story is told about Rav Mendel. At one time, um, Rav Mendel Kaplan is his last name. Rav Mendel Kaplan. He was once coming. He was traveling from Detroit back to New York, and on the way he stopped in a synagogue to pray shaharit. And some communities stand at certain parts of the prayer, some communities sit. And this rabbi was sitting in one of the parts that in that shul, the custom was to stand. So everyone was standing and the rabbi was sitting. So afterwards, the gabbai came to the rabbi. He didn't know the rabbi, but the gabbai came. He says, this Jew, and he says to Rav Mendel, I noticed that you're new in town. Just letting you know that here, the custom is to stand. And Rav Mendel said back, if you notice that I'm new in town, why don't you ask me where I'm eating breakfast? Such a powerful story. You know I'm new? You see that I don't know my way around? You really care about me? That you're trying to improve me? That I should stand? Well, what about my breakfast? You don't care about me then? You don't care about how I'm eating? You don't care that I'm taken care of physically? You only care about my soul? You don't really care about me. You care about you. You care to show me off. You care to just put me down. You care to make yourself feel better. If you really cared about me, why didn't you ask me where I'm eating breakfast? Such a powerful story. Only then can we give musar, when we love the person, if we're able and willing to help them. If we're not willing to help them, stay out of it. Don't open. Nothing good's going to come out. Nothing productive is going to come out of that criticism. We have to know. Shlomo HaMelech, yesterday's class, you have to give rebuke. Yes, you have to give rebuke, but only if we love them. Shlomo HaMelech loved the people. What he wouldn't do for the people. Are we on this level? Are we on the level? So yes, of course, Rabbi, I love my wife. Yes, I love my wife. But this moment, as I'm criticizing my wife, as I'm criticizing my husband, right now, am I feeling love for them? Is it coming from a place of love? Or is it coming from a place of anger? From a place of maybe hurt? From a place of annoyance? Right? I just feel like I had you already. So many times I got to tell you the same thing. It's annoying already. So it's not coming from love in this moment. We better stay quiet. It's not going to be received well. It's not going to be received well. And my friends, I want to share just one idea, just one beautiful idea over here. Okay? And this is from Rabbi Jacobson. He quotes the Balatanya. Okay? Something so powerful. If you open the Perashah, as Moshe Rabbeinu is rebuking the people, look at this. And we said that these places are not actual places that they are. They're he's hinting to places that they've been to. And he's telling them about all the places that they've been to in the past. And how he's been here, he's been there, he's been to the other. And when you were in this place, you did this sin. And in that place, you did that sin. But says the Balatanya, something so powerful. Look at this, my friends. As Moshe is rebuking them. And he's telling them about each place, where they've been and what they've done wrong. Nonetheless, Moshe, and we're going to go one by one, and I'll show it to you. But he says the Yesod, that in each and every place that Moshe is hinting, as he's rebuking them, he first shows them, I understand why you did it though. He shows them empathy. I understand. I'm not excusing it. I'm not justifying it. I'm not giving it an okay. I'm not giving it a stamp of approval. But I understand why you did it. And Moshe Rabbeinu is saying, I understand. It's still wrong. But I understand. When we say it like that, I understand you. I understand why you did that. I understand that you're hurt. Not okay. Not okay, but you're hurt. And I see that you're hurt. And the moment we're able to do that, the person says, okay, so they see it how I see it. Whatever we say, it's easier to hear now. Whatever criticism, but again, has to be from love, has to be for respect, and I respect you. And I took 5 minutes to try to understand your point of view, how you see it, Let me hear your side. So many times we get angry, we start yelling, we start rebuking, we huff and puff. Especially in these days, my friends, I want to tell you a secret. We are in the 3 weeks. And the test of these 3 weeks is man to man. Ben Adam lachavero. If you feel yourself being tested, if you feel yourself being more impatient, if we feel like for some reason in these days I have a short fuse, I don't know why. What's going on, Rabbi? I'm not usually like this all year round. Some reason, I don't know, something's happening to me. I feel like I'm possessed. The answer is these stakes are higher. Yes. Beit HaMikdash is being able to be rebuilt in these 3 weeks. So we're going to have a shorter fuse. Hashem is testing our man-to-man, our patience, our anger. That is the name of the game. That is the job of these 3 weeks. If we feel ourselves getting more angry faster, that's how it is. We got to realize that that's a test. We got to be ready for the test. Moshe Rabbeinu says to us, Perashat Devarim. Take a minute. Try to hear the other side. Relax. Take a deep breath. It's okay. You know what? You guys did horrible things. But let me see it from your side. Let me try to understand your perspective. And as he goes one by one, look at this, my friends. Number one, let's go place by place. Bamidbar. He says, first of all, you guys sinned by doing what you did in the midbar, in the desert. What did they do in the desert? Says Rashi, says Rabbeinu Bachya, Mipnei ma shehichisuhu bamidbar. They angered him. Miten mutenu. If only we were to die here. We can't. There's no water. There's no this. There's no that. They complained in the desert. That's a horrible thing to do. But says Moshe Rabbeinu, but I understand why he did it. You were in the desert. Midbar. What else could you expect from somebody in the desert where there's snakes, there's scorpions, there's unknown, there's no AC? Could you blame them? Was it wrong? 100%. And he's rebuking them 100%. But it's understandable. You were in the midbar. And as he's telling them the rebuke, he's hinting in the words of rebuke, the excuse. He's giving them the excuse of why they did it. Because you were in the desert. And that is the rebuke, but that's also the excuse at the same time. He's handing them the key to the defense. It's like a lawyer. As he's the prosecutor, he's also telling the defendant what he should say as an excuse. How to defend himself. Wink, wink. So Moshe says, how could you do what you did when you were in the desert? But he's also tacitly telling them, by the way, because you were in the desert, that's why you did it. I understand. I mean, how would you feel if there were snakes all around and heat, right? When the AC is 72 instead of 71, we're going crazy. 1 degree extra, we're bugging out. So I understand you guys. You were in the desert, not easy. The next rebuke, what you guys did in Arava. What's Arava? Says Rashi, Baal Peor, when you were bowing down to Peor, who Moav, right? With Moav. Now, again, let's pause for a second. Is that the right way to call it Ba'arava? Why calling it Arava? Look what he says over here. I'll read you the language. It should have said not Arava, but Bashitim. What does it mean? Ba'arava. The real name of the place was Shittim. That's where Moav lived. Right? But Ba'arava means it was the known place. Ba'arava with the hay. It was a known Arava. What does that mean, known Arava? Who was Moav, my friends? Who is Moav? The people of Moav. Moav were filled with immorality. They were known. Moav means Me'av, from my father. The name of immorality, incest, is built into the name of the nation. Yeah? It's like, imagine there was a nation, like you had the Americans, you had the French, and you had the infidelites. Right? That's like their name. We're not loyal. That's who we are. We're the prostitutes. That's the name of the nation. Moab. That's what Moab means. From father. We're the incestuans. Yeah, a crazy name. And Moshe is saying, what you did was horrible, but I understand it. You were in Sin City. You were in Moab town. You were Ba'arava. You were there. It's hard to expect the kid. Hard to expect a kid who's you send your kid to dorm in Vegas, and then you get a call from somebody that he was with a prostitute. You're upset, but could you blame the kid? Whose fault is it? You sent him to Vegas. You gave him a credit carte blanche. What's the matter with you? So Moshe Rabbeinu says, horrible what you guys did. Ba'arava. But I understand, because you were in Ba'arava. You were in Moab city. And that's who they are. Mol Suf. Guys, what you did when you were stuck by Yam Suf. See the word? Stuck by Yam Suf? He's aggressive. He's addressing. He's criticizing. And he's excusing at the same time. He's saying, when you were stuck by Yam Suf, what would I do when I was stuck by Yam Suf? I could understand why you guys did it. Where are you gonna go? You have the sea in front of you. They have the Egyptians behind you. You were stuck. When a person's stuck, they do crazy things. Not excusing it. I'm not justifying it. It's a wrong, and you deserve to be rebuked. But I understand. Ben Paran, Uben Tofel, Velavan. What you guys did with the Miraglim, with the spies. Look at this. Look at this. Right? Mashe Asuba Midbar Paran Al Yedei HaMiraglim. What you guys did because of the spies. Again, Moshe Rabbeinu is rebuking them. He's telling them, but I know why you did it. There were spies that enticed you. Those spies, they got into your head. It's not your fault. It is your fault, but it's not your fault. Kavod. You're rebuking someone. Show them kavod. Show them respect. I saw you on your phone in shul. I saw you on your phone. The other day, guy, I was on my phone. I wasn't praying. I prayed earlier minyan, and I was listening to, I was doing the Daf Yomi on my phone. So I had my phone on the Gemara, right next to the Gemara. The guy came over to me. What are you on your phone for in shul? Right? I'm not praying. I'm learning. Nothing wrong with what I'm doing here. Halachically, nothing wrong. Right? Now imagine there is someone doing something wrong in shul. Imagine someone is talking in shul. Someone is on their phone. Kavod. Take him aside privately. And again, only if you love the person. Listen, I know you were probably doing something very important. You were probably texting your wife or whatever, and it's not my place, but people look up to you. People see you text, they think it's okay for them to text. Figure out a way. Again, I'm not saying that you should say this to someone, but if you feel like you're on the place to say this and you feel like you want to, there has to be a kavod way of giving criticism, my friends. Moshe Rabbeinu says what you guys did with the spies. Those spies were very good, huh? They really got into your heads. So you see, he's giving them an out. Lavan, what you guys did with the man. How do you complain about that white man? You see, he's attacking, and in the same word, he's telling them the excuse. What's the excuse for the man? What color was the man, my friends? It was white. Moshe Rabbeinu was saying to them, I understand why you complain. It's white, very bland, very blah, boring, white, the same white man. Not okay that you complained, but I hear it. I understand. It's white. You want variety in life, right? You need some Asian, you need some this, you need some variety, some spicy, right? Some Mediterranean. You need some different flavors. The white man. So he's attacking. And as he's attacking, he's giving them a little bit of an excuse. How do you guys complain about the white man? White. Yes, I understand. It was white. It was too boring for you. You needed variety. Yeah? Korach, same thing. Korach, what he did to you guys. How did he get into your heads? Shame on him. Shame on you. But he was good, huh? He was very, very good. Very convincing, that guy, Korach. And finally, Di Zahav, the Egel. How do you excuse him for the Egel? What are you going to say to them about the Egel? Egel's the worst thing. Egel, all the sins that they did. How do you excuse them for the Egel? Can I excuse them? I'll tell you. You ready? Ready? Says Rashi. The Egel, shame on you. You bow down to an Egel under the chuppah. But why'd you do the Egel? Vedi Zahav. You had so much gold. So much gold. It's not your fault. It is your fault, but it's not your fault so much. Because you had so much gold. God, it's your fault. You gave them all the gold. You take a kid, you put him with a pouch of coins, and you stand him in front of a brothel. You expect him not to sin? God, it's your fault. It's your fault. He gave them so much gold. And so with each line, Moshe is excusing them. As he's hitting, he's also covering. Yeah? With each push, he's also pulling back. With each wound, he's putting some neosporin. This is the only way really to give rebuke. We learned so much. We learned so much just from this one idea. And he adds this one last thing. Then I'll end with a story. But he does say this. He says that this Parashat Devarim always falls out, the Parasha right before Tisha B'Av. It's always the week of Tisha B'Av. And Tisha B'Av, we know, we read Megillat Echa. Opening pasuk, Echa Yasheva Badad. How could it be the city that was once so powerful, pumping, is now empty, is now by itself, Badad. And he's criticizing us. You're all alone. Look what you caused yourself. You caused yourself to be in the gutter. You caused yourself to be alone. But my friends, as he's saying the pasuk, as he's yelling at us for being alone, he's also echoing our praise. God bless you, because you are always alone. Like Balaam said, Hen am levadad yishkon. You Jews are always alone. Like oil, you throw it into water, it rises. The Jews rise. The Jews never give in. How could it be 3,000 years and we still haven't fully assimilated? We're still here. We're still alone. We're still levad. This curse of Echa, this curse of Yirmiyah, that you're all alone, yelling at us. But in the very same word, he's also praising us. You guys are alone. That's amazing. No other nation. The Greeks, where are they? They've assimilated. The Greeks today, they're not the same Greeks as once upon a time. The Romans, different Romans. We have stayed around 3,000 years, no matter how much. Bechol dor vador, every generation they've tried, and we're still here. We're still here. Because really the deepest rebuke, my friends, the deepest rebuke you could ever give someone is to show them how capable they are, to show them what they can accomplish, show them where they should be. This is what you're capable of. Let them aspire to that. Don't put them down. Help them see up. Help them see their potential. The famous story of Rav Aryeh Levine, that it was, the students, they came, they told him that there's a fellow in Jerusalem who's keeping his store open into Shabbat. And it's a Chilul Shabbat, you got to stop him. What should we do, Rabbi? Should we stand and should we riot? What should we do? And Rav Aryeh Levine said, let me see what's going on. And so the next week, the next Shabbat, he got dressed, he put his Shabbat clothes on, he got ready for Shabbat early, ready for shul. And he went to this fellow's store an hour before Shabbat. The fellow sees Rav Aryeh Levine, and he's getting a little bit nervous. The rabbi's in the store. Why is he in the store? What does he want from me? Is he going to shut me down? Shabbat's getting closer. 5 minutes left. Candle lighting. It's already Shabbat. And 20 minutes, 30 minutes into Shabbat, and the guy's still open selling. And finally, after 30 minutes, Rabbi Aryeh Levine, he gets up He starts walking out of the store, and the guy starts getting very nervous. Now the rabbi is going to yell at me. He's going to put me in excommunication. The rabbi walks over to him, and he says to him, they told me that you were open on Shabbat. I needed to see it for myself. I could confidently say, after being here for an hour plus, how busy you are, how much money you're making, that if I were you, if I was in your position, I don't know that I would close either. And I understand how difficult it is for you to close. Shabbat Shalom. And with that, he walks out. And Motzei Shabbat, the fellow came in tears in his eyes. He said, Rabbi, that was the first time anybody cared to understand my perspective, to see it from how I see it. Yes, it's horrible what you did, says Moshe. Egel, you out of your mind? But I understand it. And only then, when we could empathize, my friends, that's the word, when we could empathize and we could relate and we could see it how they see it, have love, then we open our mouths with rebuke. Only after we've given warmth and only after we've elevated in the sauna can we hit, can we rebuke, can we start talking down, can we start saying what needs to be said, and the recipient will say more. Thank you. But that is the condition. That's how we must do it. We must learn from Moshe how to give criticism. So today is the flip side of the coin. When the bar is too high and when the people are too low. That is the flip side of yesterday's class. Yes, we must rebuke, but my friends, you have to know how to give it. How to give it. The next time you're going to open your mouth to somebody, when you see someone today maybe, you want to tell them how they're so X, Y, and Z. Yeah? Before you say that, stop. Ask yourself one question. Do I love this person? Is this coming from love? Or is this coming to put them down? Is this coming to help them build them up? Or is this coming to help build me up? Am I building or am I knocking? If it's coming from a place of love, I could open. If not, I better keep shut. Remember, my friends, first you got to warm up the sauna, and only then can we give the rebuke, can we give the criticism, but only after first we've elevated b'nei kevodam, showing them that we respect them, that we love them, we honor them. Okay, my friends, let's stop over here. Have a wonderful day. We'll see you all tomorrow. Bye-bye.